Good morning. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. So let's just check to make sure everything is working. I think it's all working well. Check the sound. All right. Let's go. Let's have a look at the charts. I'm just going to go straight into Bitcoin. Hope everyone is well. Everything. I haven't looked at the charts at all, so I'm just coming back and looking at them fresh today, this morning. I'm going to have a look at Bitcoin, as always. I'm going to have a look at the TRVL reaccumulation above a key level. We're going to have a look at prop S, that's prop base, and so that's been pumping. I'm going to have a look at the impulsive move, and we're going to have a look at kind of signs of strength on SWELL. We were looking at SWELL yesterday. We're going to continue having a look at that. I'm going to be streaming now. It's 11 a.m. UK time. I'm going to be streaming now for 2 hours. Okay, so I'll be on for 2 hours through till 1, and then we'll see if we can see anything that's interesting in the charts, and if there is, I'm going to kind of talk about it. If there's time, I'll be looking at other charts as well. I'm going to focus on those four for the time being. Okay, so welcome and buckle up. Let's go. So I can see now, I can clearly see now that we're having a little bit of a pullback on Bitcoin. It's always, I mean, people always freak out when Bitcoin pulls back. Yeah, I don't know what it is with people. They've got this kind of innate fear of something. I don't understand what it is, but you get the idea is to get bullish at the lows, get bearish at the highs. Bullish at the lows, bearish at the highs. Bullish at the lows, bearish. You almost have to repeat. You have to wake up and zen and mantra zen. Start doing some hum and just keep on telling yourself, bullish at the lows, bearish at the highs. Bullish at the lows. You just got to keep on telling yourself that, okay? And then the next question is, well, where are the lows? Where are the highs? Okay. Well, that's kind of not difficult to identify, but you have to first get that idea ingrained into your soul effectively. So right now we're heading for the lows. Yeah, so you see there's a range here, and we're heading for the lows. And so in the lows, what happens? You get bullish. In the lows. You never get bearish in the lows. You get bullish in the lows. You get bearish in the highs. So wherever the highs are, you have to start getting bearish. Whenever the lows start appearing, you have to start getting bullish, right? We're getting a pullback now. I can clearly see that there's a bullish divergence forming on this range. This liquidation followed by this drop hitting the week low. You can see where the CVD is there. The CVD is down to this point here. It's about minus 18. And right now you can see the CVD is much lower. It's at minus 49 million. So the CVD is lower, much lower. And as you can see, the price is slightly higher on this drop. Okay, so it's quite a big drop. I don't quite understand what's going on here, so I'm just going to zoom into the order flow. This is the 15-minute time frame, so I'm going to kind of switch back to the 5-minute time frame. Kind of zoom in on the order flow. I can see here that some shorts have opened up. 2.9 million short opened up, increasing OI. So you've got some shorts appearing in the lows. The initial drop was formed by a big long closing. Yeah, you can see that big long closed, and you can see that there was a small, maybe there was some small shorts here. Were those shorts growing in this range? Slightly, yes. There was some shorts were growing in this range. You can see the CVD is going down, the price is going down. In some parts, the OI is actually going up. After we lost the VWAP, which happened at 6:55 a.m. this morning, the price never really managed to get to the VWAP. The long has just closed, and now some shorts are entering. Some longs are now entering too. So some longs are just catching that dip. So that's kind of what's happening now on the order flow. There is some bullish CVD forming in this overall range. I'm just looking at the highs here. Was there bearish CVD? There was it's hard to see actually. There's a little bit of bearish CVD here, very slightly. Not really. I can't really see it. Yeah, there was actually. Look, you can see here, this CVD pivot was higher than here, and you can see actually we weren't able to take out that pivot high. You see that? So that was a lower high there on the price, and it was a higher high on the CVD. That's bearish. So naturally, it went into kind of it kind of went flat, and then it just dropped, and then it just dropped again. Now we're getting a few shorts opening. Does this look bullish or bearish? Let's have a look at excuse me, let's have a look at the actual charts and have a look and see what's going on. Well, we're kind of falling back quite a lot, so naturally people are going to be thinking, oh no, it's all going down, everything's going to hell. Rude Soup Cat is welcome actually. Well, welcome Rude Soup Cat. Hey, what happened? Everything falling. Well, I can, as I said before, bearish at the lows. Bearish at the highs, bullish at the lows. You just got to get that mentality. It's a mental state of mind. Yeah. Bearish at the highs, bullish at the lows. Yeah. Always kind of have that, engage that mindset. So are we bearish or bullish? Well, the other question is, what time frame are you using? If you're using some kind of extremely higher time frame, arguably you could say I'm macro bearish, because we are literally at the all-time highs. If you're just scalping or day trading or intraday trading, you could argue, well, actually, maybe I'm starting to get bullish, because maybe this is the range. Maybe for you, the range could be there to there. That could be the range. I'm thinking, oh, wow, we're at the bottom of this range. Maybe I could kind of buy it and take it right back up. So it also depends on the time frame that you're focused in on. Okay. And that also will impact whether you're bullish or bearish. I think a lot of people are aiming for post 100k, after 100k, and so they're not going to be content until we hit 100k, and so until then they're just going to be bullish. And the problem is that we don't know how far this is going to pull back. We've had a nice bounce. It hasn't actually taken out this pivot high, which is what I was talking about yesterday. I was talking about this pivot high the day before. We did a nice V shape here, which we got a nice pump. We came back to test it here. We got a nice back test. We hit it again, and we're hitting it again. So this is actually quite bearish. Okay, it's quite bearish. We're actually forming a head and shoulders pattern here with two heads. And I talked about this head and shoulders pattern yesterday, that there was a head and shoulders pattern forming. Okay, so we are actually forming a bearish head and shoulders pattern here. That's why people are getting bearish, isn't it? They're getting bearish because we're forming lower highs here. We're forming a head and shoulders pattern here. We failed to take out that pivot there. I talked about this yesterday in my live stream. So again, it's a balance of probabilities. What I said was we need to take that pivot out. We have to take this pivot out. This pivot must be taken out. Okay. And while it's looking good or trying to take it out, the reality was that BTC is struggling, is it? It's struggling to take that pivot out. What you can see here is a rounding top. You can see that. Does this mean this is bearish or bullish? Well, at the moment it's feeling quite bearish, yeah. So we come back to the lows. It's never bullish to come back to the lows, okay? But you don't get bearish at the lows. You get bullish. You start to get bullish at the lows, okay? So you have to. So it's just kind of, you don't want to get bearish at the lows. You want to get bullish at the lows, but the lower we go, the more bullish we get. All right. So it's just a state of mind. So am I feeling bearish or bullish? Well, at the moment, I'm just trying to see what's happening. I'm just trying to analyze. Yeah, I'm not really reacting. I've just updated this this volume, and you can see actually that is bearish. So I've got this kind of local, this Trump val, and I've just updated that. I'm going to update the Trump pump volume 2, okay? And so actually we are actually forming some kind of bearishness now. So now you can start getting a little bit more bearish. Just a little bit. Why am I now bearish? And It's because the point of control has just shifted. You see, the point of control was here, and now the point of control has gone up there, and actually we've backtested it nicely for rejection. That's why we had that long dump on us. Okay, so this is actually becoming bearish. Okay, right, at the highs. See, so now the range you have to be considering is, this is the range. I'm going to update the Trump pump value area. I'm going to update the point of control. The point of control is now a really strong resistance level, very strong. So we have a very strong resistance level now at 97.3k. Okay, it's the point of control. And actually, when you're looking at it now, in and around the structure, you can see it's acting as a really nice SR flip as well. Okay, so it doesn't mean we can't go up one more. Let's see, the thing is, just because it's there, it doesn't mean we can't go up one more time to dump like that. Okay, if that's what wants to happen. But just bear in mind that if we do get another chance, that's your exit. Okay, so while I'm not looking to exit on a whim just because some people have sold, if you do get one last kind of rally to pump, I think that would be a really good place to kind of lower high this rounding top if you get that opportunity. If we get that opportunity, and strength here is going to be a flip. That would be strong. It would be strong to flip that. Okay, you'd need to see a back test. You have to see a back test after the price goes through a big level like that. At the moment in this range, it's quite bearish just because we've lost it as a resistance level. Yeah, can this continue to go down? It could, or we could trap those shorts, pump, and then dump for a lower high here and just clear the liquidity there before we go down. That's also possible. We don't know what's going to happen next, but the balance of probabilities are that we may actually go and destroy people's shorts first before we continue. If we're going to continue to go down, get people bullish again, because people aren't necessarily looking at the volume, get people bullish again, and then we might actually try to kind of swing failure these highs and go down and for a lower high here. Then what you're talking about is an actual pattern. It's a rounding top. There is some sort of neckline here. We're at it now, and you know the measured move is the lows here, isn't it? It's the lows. So I've got this yellow line from before. That was the previous point of control. I would argue that that's the area of interest for another bounce, for another attack of longs. Yeah. Now I don't necessarily like it when we kind of go to the lows. But in this case, that might be necessary because we probably need to flip that point of control back into the lows. Probably. We probably need to pivot that point of control back into the lows of this range and maybe even clear the liquidity from that pivot and just kind of flip back into support for another attack to the highs. And so what I was saying yesterday, we are range bound. This is our range. Technically speaking, the low of the range at the moment is here, is this pivot here, and if we lose this pivot and we flip the value area low, which is this blue line, into resistance, if we just can't find any strength here and we lose it and we flip it into resistance, then actually guess what, we're heading for the actual lows. Yeah, now am I bullish or bearish at the lows? I'm bullish. I'm not bearish. I'm bullish. The lower we go, the more bullish I become. Yeah, it's just the way, it's just a mental state, right? The lower you go, the more bullish you become. Now people are saying, oh my god, double top, oh my god, rounding top, oh my god, we've lost the V, oh my god, sell. No. Bye. Higher time frame, we're extremely bullish. Higher time frame, we're mega bullish. Yeah, mega bullish. We're not bearish at all. When you look at this higher time frame, we're in price discovery. We've broken out. If I pull the volume here, the volume is good. Previous month volume was good. It's increasing volume. Everything about this price action for me is continuation. It's not suddenly we're going to zero. Yeah, pullbacks are healthy in price movement. So I'm not thinking, oh my god, we're going to zero. I'm thinking, oh, wow, great opportunity to buy more. Even though it's in the highs, the situational awareness is really important. We've had a multi-month consolidation of flag break, and we're in price discovery. In price discovery, the price wants to go higher because it's price. That's why it's called price discovery. We're discovering at which price the price will finally find a top or find resistance. Yeah, we've only just broken out, so I'm not thinking we're going to go down. I'm thinking higher time frame is still going up, and that's how that, until that changes, I'll be thinking that there is the only way that I would actually become bearish, the only way on this higher time frame, the only way that I would actually become bearish, if we get a brutal close on this higher time frame candle, a brutal close underneath the previous month high here. If we get a close all the way down here, then I would really, I would get bearish. It would be an opportunity to buy, but the reality is that the next candle buy would probably end in another dump, okay? Because of the close. The close would be detrimental to continuation. You'd have to have a brutal close on a higher time frame, okay? I think in this context, anything under 50% of the previous month candle body would be quite brutal. Yeah, you just don't want to see that kind of close. I'm not talking about the price coming down and going back up. I'm talking about an actual close. Yeah, so I think if that started to happen, I would just start getting a little bit more bearish. Okay, so when you've got these higher time frame signs of bearishness, yeah, let this red candle here, this red one with a long wick, is generally speaking just a big profit take for a lot of people. A lot of people took profit. We've cleared the liquidity from the weekly level. Now we're going down to collect more liquidity. Yeah, so we've tapped the liquidity for the sellers. Sellers have loaded up that weekly level. Now they're selling, and now now the price is just going to go down and see where it can find support. That's what's happening right now with the price. Okay, that just gives people an opportunity to buy. If you're looking at this and you're thinking this top, sell. You look at this and you think it's top, sell. If you're looking at this and you're thinking the price isn't going to go up anymore, sell. Yeah, but if you're looking at this and you're thinking, oh, this is an opportunity to buy this, the pullback, then look to buy, don't sell. Okay, you just have to just continue buying, and then obviously short-term traders will buy and sell. It doesn't really matter if you're an intraday trader. You don't really care, do you? You don't really care what's happening. You just buy and sell, buy and sell, buy and sell. Whenever you take your profit, you move on to the next move. That's really what intraday traders don't really care if it's going up or down, because most of the time, at least 80% of the time, the price is actually in a range and it's going sideways. It's going up and down. Yeah, they were short, they were long and short, and they will have their invalidations at the edges of the range. They'll try and identify the ranges. Maybe an intraday trader will start building shorts with an invalidation up here, they'll start building longs with an invalidation up here, and they'll just be swinging this range. Yeah, and the reality is most of the time the price will just range for a much longer period of time than people expect, and so naturally most intraday traders will have quite wide invalidations. They'll build longs, they'll take their profit. That's the key. They'll build shorts, they'll take their profit. When you get these drops, anyone who's been building a short in this highs will go, oh wow, look, it's dropped, let me just start taking a bit of profit. Let me start making some money. And then they'll probably try and target lower, and then they'll start longing. You know, they'll do both actually. They'll end up shorting and longing the same price action. So that's kind of what's happening at the moment. This does look bearish, so dare I say it, this is a rounding top. We are showing signs of weakness. There is bullish divergence. I do wonder if we do go up one more time just to kind of clear these highs. Again, if you get that opportunity for a swing failure here, that would be a nice opportunity to close out positions, especially if it gives you a real nice another test for a lower high here. And the thing you have to understand is that if people are looking at this price action, they're looking to short. They're not looking to short a break. I mean, some people will, and they get trapped usually. They'll be looking to short the back test. If they get that opportunity, they'll wait for the break. Then they'll look for resistance on the back test, or they'll be looking to short a swing failure higher up, okay, into resistance. They're not just going to short just because the price looks bearish. they'll go, oh my god, this does look a little bit bearish, so I'm waiting for the next opportunity to short or sell. They're not just going to sell. Oh, some people will. And that's kind of how it works. Yeah, that's kind of how it works. And then we have to see what happens. So that's kind of what's happening right now. I hope that explains everything. I hope that kind of gives you context as to what's going on. Let me just look at the order flow. Let me just have a look at kind of the market orders, and just have to refresh this because it's lagged out, and see what's going on here. Yeah, you got some longs coming here. I'm sorry, some shorts coming here. Some longs are coming. They're not. The price action isn't really moving. Okay, so we've got some single prints that are formed in this drop. Two sets of single prints. 1, 2. So the drop is has created zero volume on the way down. These single prints generally act as resistance. I don't know if I wouldn't. I think I wouldn't mind if we. I don't know if this is going to happen. It'd be very nice if we can fill this one and go up and find resistance up there. Clean sweep of the highs there for a rejection. I think that would be a really good short opportunity if people are looking to short or close out their longs. The next pump would be a great opportunity to close out your longs, and generally speaking, just look for a swing failure of this little range, and then actually short. If you're looking for a mini short, like an intraday short, you'll be shorting a lower high into a gap, into a massive couple of single print blocks, and potentially into a higher time frame point of control, which is right at the highs there. Okay, if you get that opportunity, that would be a really nice close and short. Otherwise, this single print block here will resist the price, and the price will head lower. But like I said, you know, late shorts get punished. So would you argue that these are late shorts? I would, yeah. I think if you were going to short, you should have shorted up there, not down here. And then the people might long, and then early longs get punished. You know, like early and late get punished. It's usually somewhere in the middle where people actually make most of the money. Okay, so yeah, so I can see it's a little bit bearish, actually. Just kind of, but that doesn't necessarily mean crypto is bearish, just because Bitcoin's a little bit bearish. And so when I'll be looking at my coins, my tokens, whatever, my list, some coins are pumping, huh? You know, some coins are going up like mental. Sui's been having a good day. Look at Sui, fuck me. Sui's going up, not going down. Bitcoin's going down, Sui's going up. Yeah, so I've kind of been contemplating Sui to go up for a while now. It's tricky, you know, because I'm trying to map this corrective move, possibly looking for the end of the fall here. And it looks like that maybe was, I'm just trying to, I don't know if this all potentially looks corrective. I can see Sui is pumping, increasing volume, increasing prices. I think Sui is trying to run, to be honest with you. So while I look at Bitcoin go down, I'm looking at Sui go up, and I'm feeling quite bullish. That gives me good vibes, you know. I'm seeing some other tokens run as well. Some other tokens are doing quite well and kind of resisting the drop on my list. BBL, what's BBL? It's a low market cap token, which is broken out, and it's like actually looking to go up really fast. Look at that. So I kind of had this line. I've been looking at this. I've got a very small position at the lows. It was such a low market cap token. It was an easy play, to be honest with you. When I collected this token, it was so freaking low. I was thinking about dumping it, but I didn't, because it was so low. Right now the market cap's 5 million, but when I was looking at it down here, it was like 2.5 million market cap on Bybit. That's really low. And I was just thinking that it's just dump. You never know, it could just pump. So it was a gamble, really. It was a bet. I can see some tokens are going up. Look, CPOL going up. So I'm not feeling, look, Pole is going up while everything is going down. I'm not feeling bearish, am I? If it was bearish, you wouldn't get this kind of price action, would you? If it was bearish, you wouldn't. Link led the way yesterday, so I'm still feeling quite bullish. I was in some link positions. I closed them. I've been closing my positions on link. Just, you know, because you have to really, when you see the price pump, you have to scale back, you have to take profit, and then you can re-enter, you can scale back in. Yeah, that's basically the safest way. When you see the pump, sell half or more, and then give it some time to correct or continue, and then just you can scale back in, right back in, okay, slowly, and then you're not really losing, and you can continue. If it continues, you can continue with the move, you know. And it's very easy. You don't really have, I mean, you don't have to. This is the thing, in the next few weeks or months, be careful about January, yeah, because I think January is, historically speaking, a red month or a pullback month, okay? So we've got December, February, March, and April. We've basically got 4 months, with January historically being a pullback month at the beginning of January. Possibly for the first 2 to 3 weeks of January, we could get some quite significant pullbacks on crypto, right? That's what I'm imagining right now. I'm imagining very similar to last time in this current phase, okay? I think Bitcoin is going to start running like crazy, and altcoins could be left behind, but they'll still go up, okay? It's just that BTC value will go up and peak, okay? So let me just go to BTC. Let me just go to Bitcoin on my index. Go back to historical data. This is the monthly chart. Let me just kind of bring it back to where the price began to run. So actually, you know, last time, January, Bitcoin actually did go up still. It wasn't a red month, it was green, January 21. But you see there was a big pullback, yeah? So it went up and it pulled back. December should be an up month, it's usually an up month. Let's have a look here. See, look, this is December, green, and then January was a red. It was like a up and down month. So I think what I'm thinking of is January is the pullback month because it's the first month of the year. So on the yearly candle, you're looking for a little pullback first. And then we're looking for potentially three more greens. Pullback. And actually, Bitcoin was red at the end and it peaked. And so I'm kind of thinking something similar. I'm not thinking anything differently. I'm not thinking this is a red month. I'm thinking this is a green month. Okay. I'm just seeing this as a little pullback before we go up. We've got that magic 91k level, 91.5k level that we haven't back tested on the monthly time frame. We've back tested it on the weekly time frame. Yeah, here. Do you see that? That was a nice back test here. But we haven't actually back tested it on the monthly time frame. Yeah. Could we get a back test here on the monthly time frame for continuation? Absolutely we can. We're not far away from it, to be honest with you. And it could just be a wick down and up. I think it makes sense because this 618 that I have is a gigantic higher time frame 618. Yeah, it's from the COVID low to the all-time high to the bear market low. That's the 618. So it makes perfect sense on a higher time frame to get a higher time frame back test of the 618. Makes perfect sense. Why would you think that we don't get a back test? Of course we're going to get a back test. It makes sense. Yeah, we've already had a weekly back test. Now we're going down to clear the liquidity from the lows of this weekly wick candle. Where do we find support? Who knows? But potentially somewhere here. I'm not really expecting lower, to be honest with you. I think we get a monthly back test of that area. If it goes lower, then I'm still expecting an up and like a down and up and up. Yeah, I'm not really expecting anything other than that. Let's see what happens. And then we're going to pump. Okay, and then I think we'll continue with this move. That's a strong bullish expanding candle, high volume, come down, capture as much liquidity as we can, let's push up through 100k. 100k is a non-level for me. It's a non-existent level. It's psychologically, we've already hit it psychologically. So next time we go up to 100k, I don't think it's going to resist the price. Okay, so just bear that in mind. I wouldn't sell 100k if we go up to 100k, because I think we've already hit it. This for me was a hit, yeah, because we came within $200 of 100k. $250 of that. For me, that's a hit. It was a front run, but it was a hit. I think we've hit 100k. I don't expect 100k to resist the next time we go. People will potentially sell into 100k, but I think the next time we go, we'll just probably smash through it and just continue, because it will be on an impulsive move for higher prices. People aren't just going to stop at 100k. Yeah, that's what I think. Okay, I don't know, I'm not 100%, but yeah, I think so. I think we just smash through. Next time we have, I think what we're creating for ourselves here is the recipe for a massive squeeze, and that has to come after we have to flip this point of control back to the lows. I think that's really important. I think this rounding top is going to play out. I don't know if it's going to happen now, or we're going to get one more like that. For me, that would makes more sense, right? I don't know. And then I want to see this point of control flip to the lows, this one, right back to the lows here, somewhere here. I don't know where exactly, but probably here, above the value area low here. Which means, like, I want to see, I don't know if this is going to happen because it could just go down, but I think that would make sense. And then measured move of this is right back at the lows. Maybe clear the liquidity, maybe not. I don't know. Okay. I think it'll be really healthy to clear the liquidity of this pivot. I really do think that. I think it'd be really healthy for the price to stop to liquidate everyone who's moved their stop loss to underneath this pivot. Okay, and you are looking at potentially a harmonic here. What kind of harmonic is that? Let me just have a look for harmonics. I haven't memorized them because you can just Google them. Now let's have a look at the harmonics. I'll put them onto my screen. I can show you what I'm looking at right now. And it might not happen, but if it happens, it's good to kind of imagine then you know what you're looking for. So these are the harmonics. Which one are we looking at here? Well, just look at the pivots. Let's just say you've got, this is your pivot. Maybe that's up there, maybe there. Which one is this one there? So which one are you looking at now? So the C is lower than an A. So you need one where the C is lower than an A. So it could be a butterfly or a bat. You see the first two, the bullish butterfly or the bat. If the D point comes underneath the X, it's a butterfly. If the D point comes underneath the B above the X, it's a bat. Both are bullish. One of these two. You see that? One of these two. Wherever the D lands will determine whether it's a bat or a butterfly. At the moment, that's the harmonic I'm contemplating at the moment, right? It can't be a cipher because the C was lower. It can't be a shark. And it's not a Gartley because then the B would have been much higher. If it was a Gartley, it would have been like this. Yeah. I like Gartleys, but it's not a Gartley. Okay. So in this context, if we come down to the lows, you are actually looking for a bullish, one of these two bullish harmonics. It's a bat or a butterfly. Okay, so I'm going to just kind of put this into a little group just to have it. Bullish harmonic. Oop, can't spell. Harmonic idea. It's an idea, yeah, because no one really knows. And then I kind of wouldn't mind to go up. I don't know if it's going to happen. I can't tell because right now I can see the price is rejecting from that single print. But let's say we do go up one more time, clear the liquidity and just drop. That would be better to get a sudden drop like that. It would be better than just, because I think it's hard for people to sell here. It would be a lot easier to go up and dump. Okay, that's kind of what you want to see, a big dump. And that will shake the markets. It's good to shake the markets, you know, shake XRP, get all those people shook up a little bit. I don't mind that, you know. Scare the XRP crowd a little bit. And let's just kind of map this out perfectly. I'm using the 4-hour time frame. I'm going to use fib time. That was nice. The C came on the 618 there. You see that? So that was a nice pivot on fib time. So there is something happening here on time. There is a harmonic in play. Yep, it happened at the 618. That was really nice. And here, what I want to see potentially is here by Friday, Friday. What day are we today? Tuesday. Okay, Friday's quite far, huh? Friday's quite far. It would have to be Friday or today, based on... This is too short, I think. I think it has to be Friday. It might, and you might not, like, it could be like, I don't know how this is going to go down, if it's going to go down, but you wouldn't, see, the thing about harmonics is you don't expect it to go down, but if, it's a big if you do find the price down here on Friday, then you'd long. You're trading this harmonic, and the confirmation here would be reclaiming this level here. You need to reclaim it on Friday. You need to lose it and reclaim it on Friday, basically. So I don't know how this would go down, because you could also here lose the neckline, go back up for a test, for a dump like that. And you need to reclaim this pivot. You need to reclaim it. That's your entry. The entry in this case is a reclaim. That's quite a deep one. And again, I think it's harder to get back up if you can't put the point of control into the lows. So that's kind of what I want to see first. That would be quite a strong dump. I'm not quite sure we're going to get that bit, but who knows. And actually, I'd prefer us to kind of here go up before we just dump like that. And down. Scare people. And just kind of rally them. And with these harmonics, if they do play out, the target for most traders is 50%. That's the target. So let's say you do manage to get here. I don't know where. Initially, the target for this harmonic is... I mean, maybe we don't go as low. I don't know. See, I really don't know what's going to happen here. And it can only happen if it happens. See, I don't know. I can't tell. If you go lower, it would be better, actually. I think if you go lower, it would be better to hit this Trump pump value area low. To be honest with you, I actually prefer going lower here and scaring the market. Temporarily losing 91k would be better in my mind for a much deeper correction. And then you just need to kind of bounce right back up. And that's kind of where you need to pump. You need to pump from that. That's like your first wave. And then you need to just go up and up and up. I don't know. I don't know how this is going to play out, actually. I can't tell. Okay. There is a harmonic in play. I prefer us to go up now before we go down. And just bear in mind, I've seen this before. While there's a harmonic in play and people are looking at this, go, oh, wow, look at that. That's nice. That could happen. The reality is, if it's bullish, we might actually just kind of, if we do fall down, you might just come down here, not take out the low to form a higher low here. Traders are waiting for the harmonic. It doesn't come. The point of control flips. You don't manage to take the lows, and the price just goes right back up. Yeah, that could totally happen too. So traders get left behind. The problem with this kind of behavior is that you actually end up from potentially a bullish harmonic to a bearish harmonic. You've got a bearish harmonic here, the opposite. If that happens, you've got a bearish W here. And so there's a lot of things that could happen, and we just have to see what happens. Okay, that's what it comes down to. There's different kinds of possibilities as to what could happen, and we just have to see what happens next. I think it'll be a great opportunity if we can get this I'm timing it for Friday. That's my best case right now. Just looking at these pivots. It would have to be Friday, or it would have to be a drop today, because you want to kind of land it on these fib times. It would have to be like this, like that. Do you know what I mean? It'd have to be a crazy drop today. And like I'm saying, it might just come down to 91.5k and just find higher low here and go up. And so you've got traders here looking for this entry here, but the reality is you might not get there, okay, by Friday. It might just slowly go down before it goes up. It just, who knows? Like, there's a lot of interest in buying Bitcoin. And so every dip is seen as potentially as an opportunity for a lot of the bigger players. So I don't know how this is going to play out, to be honest with you. I can't tell. Right, so we have to see what happens. Oh, Addy Hash, nice to see you. Welcome. So all right, so like I said, at the lows bullish, at the highs bearish, at the lows bullish, at the highs bearish. Right now we're looking at bearishness. The point of control has been flipped to the highs, lower high, which I talked about yesterday. Slight rounding top here, but doesn't mean the market is bearish, because I can clearly see that altcoins are pumping. So certain altcoins are pumping. Altcoins rotate, yeah. So on average, what you're looking at is one altcoin goes up, another altcoin goes down. On average, altcoins are actually going up, aren't they? Like, I've looked at my kind of diverse portfolio. I see one altcoin down 20%. I see another up 20%. On average, I see the portfolio rising. I don't see the portfolio going down. I still see it ascending. And so that kind of reflects what's happening, which is a BTCD dropping like a sack of bricks into the sea. Look at that. That's why your altcoins are going up. So for some people, if they've got only one or two or few altcoins, if they're very lucky and they caught the right ones, then they're happy. Otherwise, if you're in a few altcoins, you might be struggling because you just have no exposure to the whole market. The reality is, if you have a diverse altcoin portfolio with a lot of strong coins, I mean, talking about the strong coins literally in the last few weeks. Literally, I've been talking about all of the coins that I'm looking at, and I've been looking at the strong ones. One or two have been weak, but on average, they've been strong. And literally every single one of my altcoins on my list is up by a lot. All of them over the last few weeks or couple of months. Every single one. So it's crazy. I'm just looking at them and going, wow, I can't believe it. They're all doing well. Doge, when I was looking at it, it was at 18 cents. Dot, when I was looking at it, it was like $4. ENA, when I first started looking at it, it was so cheap. It was like 18 cents. Even Fetch pumped a little bit. Injective, when I was looking at it, it was like at $18. They've all gone up, huh? So while you get red days, which is normal, that's the rotation of markets, that's the rotation of capital. On average, everything's going up, isn't it? It's all been going up. Okay. And so, you know, sometimes a token goes sideways for a few weeks. You're thinking, oh, this is shit, why hasn't it moved? And then suddenly you're like, well, you wake up and it's up 16%. Okay. So I think on average, most people should be content, no? If you're in spot, and if you're like, look at zero. When I looked at this, I was streaming this. Honestly, I was streaming this when it was at the lows here at $3. Then I was telling people about it as it was ascending. I was saying, this is a good coin, guys. You need to pick this up. It was about $3.50. I streamed it. I mapped this correction out. I was telling people this is a good one. This is a good one. And you know, from anywhere, from any one of these spot entries, you're up 79%. You might think that's bad, yeah, or that's not enough, or you're looking at XRP and thinking, I need to find the XRP, but it's not really how it works. You should have a diverse portfolio. You should have exposure to a lot of these strong coins. Now this is pulling back. Am I selling? No. Okay, I let it pull back, but then another token that I have will pump. Look, WorldCoin. I was talking about WorldCoin when it was down here. You know, and so it's too late now to buy it. but you have to wait for the correction. You have to scale back in. If that's what you're thinking, that's what you have to do. All right, that's kind of my Bitcoin at the moment. Any questions on that? Yeah, so I mean, what to say? I mean, I've got a leverage Bitcoin position open. I'm not kind of closing it. It might go down, but the crazy thing is, because I've got so many positions open, that even though my Bitcoin position is down, I'm actually up. That's so weird. It's just really we're in a really weird market right now, where one coin will go up, other coins go down, but you're still up. Bitcoin's going down, other coins are going up, and you're looking at your portfolio, oh shit, I'm still up. It's weird, huh? And in that sense, what would you do? You actually accumulate more of the coins that are down. You rotate, you scale out of the ones that are up a little bit, you bring it to the ones that are down. If you're not doing leverage, which is great, don't do it. Highly unrecommended. I think it's okay to do 1 to 2x low leverage if you know what you're doing and you have guts of steel. But I think also, if you're not using leverage, you're on spot only, when you get the tokens that pump, just scale out 10% and put it in something that's down 20%. Yeah, just rotate a little bit. Skim 10%, put it in a coin that's down 10%, 20%, or put it to fiat and then start scaling in on the pullbacks on the same token. Okay, skim 10%, it goes up another 20%, skim another 10%, put it into fiat, and then wait for the pullbacks. Just be patient, wait for fear, wait for, oh my god, this is going to zero, and then start scaling back in. Okay, or just rotate. And we're in a very unique period of history in the crypto markets right now. This is a very special moment. We don't get these moments too often. So I think it's a real good, like we're everyone who's watching me now, this is a very special moment in the markets, in the crypto markets, because Bitcoin is going down and altcoins are pumping. We don't get that often, okay? And so when Bitcoin goes down, the market isn't afraid. Yeah, it's an opportunity. It's like, it's where's the next pump? Where's the next altcoin? Where's the next moon coin? Yeah. So we possibly have 4 months of this, 4 to 5 months, probably coming to an end, possibly in April. So it's a real good opportunity now for people to make money. God forbid that you enter this market in 4 months' time at the highs when everything has already happened. Now is the right time, but you have to be strategic with how you go about this. So, for example, I had the leverage SUI position open today. I've been accumulating SUI on leverage in the whole of this dip. I've been buying and selling. Yeah, just scaling in, wait for the pump, sell the pump, scale back in, and it pumped again. I sold some again, like, I'm not selling my spot. I think this is quite a healthy impulsive move. I still sold because I took profit and I still have SUI. And then what I'll do is I'll wait for this corrective move and I'll start scaling back in for continuation. Now people seeing this and they go, oh wow, look, SUI is just impulsive, increasing volume. They're probably looking at this and going, okay, this is a nice move. Maybe I'm going to buy some. Maybe I'm going to sell some Bitcoin, whatever. I'm going to start scaling into SUI. This is kind of nicely impulsive, isn't it? Maybe all of this was corrective. I kind of thought this was corrective. I didn't really think it was impulsive. Maybe this whole thing is corrective. Maybe that was it. And this is the first wave. Arguably it was. I'm just looking at this now. Yeah, it's come to the right levels, hasn't it? You see, I've got these kind of areas of fib, these fib areas. When you've got these kind of cross levels of fibs which aren't exactly in the same line, then the price likes to kind of play around and try and find support. Eventually what it ended up doing is tested one, tested two, tested the third one, came back above, went down to the middle. It's actually, these fibs are like golden pockets, aren't they? Okay, and this is price discovery. So I pulled these fibs from ages ago, didn't I? Okay, and We've got a front run of the higher level here, and I'm still targeting this really strong resistance here at $5.6. I'm still targeting there. Okay, so maybe at the end of the month we'll get there. This is looking really nice, a nice impulsive price action, higher high there. Maybe that's the wave 1, maybe the wave 4 is complete, maybe this was your ABC. I'm not sure where it started, but let's just say that's ABC there. Whatever, maybe it's like that, isn't it? Maybe it looks like it could be that. And you know, I don't know. It looks like it's a little bit early, but I don't know. I mean, it's fib time is a strange one. It's a little bit early. It's a little bit early, but it doesn't matter, does it? Because you've got increasing prices, increasing volume. That kind of gives you the confidence that that impulsive move is quite nice. It's took out that high. Let's check the daily time frame. Higher low was here. Higher high is there. Potentially this is your higher low. Really bullish candle. I told everyone about SUI when we printed this bullish candle. Came all the way down to the daily level for a back test. Cleared the liquidity from the lows. Really strong candle yesterday for SUI, and now we've just got the buyout for continuation. If we take out the all-time high, guess where we're going? $5 probably. That's what's going to happen with this token. If this token can take out the all-time high here, then we're heading up for another impulsive move. Okay, maybe that's the end of the wave 3 or 5 or whatever I've got here. I have to kind of reevaluate it now, but potentially we're still in that wave. Actually, looking at it now, this one, I've got the same colors, so it doesn't really matter. There's lots of waves here coming to an end. It's like lots of like lasers. I'm really targeting that big level there, honestly. And crypto, as we know it, overpumps, doesn't it? So if you suddenly see a SUI pump that goes mental, you could get a fake out and it could just pump up and then dump. Doesn't look like it, does it? RH. Does it look like it? Does it look like it wants to go down? Can't you tell? You should know by now, eh? You're like a SUI expert. Can't you tell? Alright, you should know by now. I don't think it looks like it wants to go down, to be honest with you. Yeah. I'm just looking at these on the daily time frame. I'm looking at these fibs. I'm not going to redraw these fibs because I think they're correct. When I did this analysis with these fibs, yeah, I liked them. So that's why I've left them. Okay. Because I liked them because we had amazing confluence here. And I used the correct pivots. I used all of these pivots were correct as far as I can tell, right? And what I can see is this major pivot here, the 618, acted as resistance the first time we hit it. And the second time we hit it, it tried to resist before we had a clean break. And what I can see is this area, this 1.272, tried to resist until it couldn't. This was a little front run area, and then it came for a back test, a clean back test. Okay, if you look at this area, yesterday we had a really nice bullish reaction. Yesterday's candle, this red candle with a long buying tail, is extremely bullish. The volume is high, so it's increasing volume, but the price has only managed to liquidate anyone who had stops underneath these lows. That's a swing failure. And the clean back test of this fib level and the daily level there. Very strong candle yesterday. So it was a clean test of this area as support. Basically, that's what happened yesterday. Get clean test. Yeah, just you're reacting to stochastic. Sorry, it's not how it works, my friend. That's why I don't use the stochastic. Yeah, I told you this is bullish. I'm not, you know, I'm not kidding. Yeah, I'm not messing. I'm not lying. The CCI for me is still bullish, even though it's pointing down. It's in overbought, but it's just correcting. And yeah, I don't know what to say. And this is the thing. Now you're like thinking, oh shit, what did I do? Why did I sell? And then I don't know. Like, I don't want to chastise you. Like I said, I'm not like trying to punish people, but you have to be patient with tokens. You can't panic because you said you're in Gala right now because you were just waiting and it wasn't doing anything, right? I think what you need to do is diversify. Honestly, that's my best advice to you. Yeah, because if you don't, you're going to be in and out of tokens. You're going to lose money as a result. I promise you, you will. You'll lose money if you don't diversify, because you'll jump from one to another and you'll always miss it. Okay, you'll always miss it if you jump from one token to another, all in, all out. It's like literally the worst thing you can do, to be all in and all out. Okay, just bear that in mind. But let's have a look at Gala versus Sui. I think that's the kind of the natural. Is that the right one? Yeah. I haven't looked at this, so I have no idea. Okay. Yeah, I mean, look, Sui is more bullish, huh? It's clearly more bullish than Gala because we're in bullish market structure here. Do you see that? So on a higher time frame, the structure of Sui versus Gala favors Sui, doesn't it? Because you're putting in higher highs here and you're in an uptrend. Okay, some kind of uptrend. Yeah. Has the uptrend broken to the downside? Not yet, because we're coming to back test these highs. It's slightly underneath that high, to be honest with you. So you could argue this is the top, okay? But at the moment, actually, we're just coming to find support, okay? You've got decreasing volume here, decreasing prices. Generally speaking, that's considered not bearish. Yeah. This, like when I'm looking at the CCI, we're finding a lot of bullish divergence here at the moment. We're coming into a major support level. The major support level on the higher time frame is here. So we're coming into support here against Gala. Could it go down further? Is it oversold? No, it's not oversold. It could go down further, but the 3-day time frame is oversold. Okay, we are getting really bullish divergence here, strong bullish divergence here, because the CSI is heavily oversold, and you see that it's kind of like that. So we're getting quite strong bullish divergences here. I don't know when this is going to turn, but I favor Sui in this situation. I don't favor Gala. I don't know when it's going to turn, but personally, I'd be looking to be in Sui, not Gala. Personally, okay. You could have sold into Gala after we lost this 236, and then the next natural support level here is slightly lower down at the 382 here. Could it find support and go up? Hell yeah, it could. It could totally do that. We don't know. No one really knows what's going to happen. So at the moment, you might have made a good play because you're actually losing value or gaining value against Sui versus Gala. So you're not in a bad position. So don't panic. Don't feel like you've made a mistake. Maybe you've gained, right? Unless you did it today. But also just bear in mind that higher time frame favors Sui, doesn't favor Gala. Okay, just bear that in mind. It's good to kind of see these things for what they really are. Right? There's a really strong level here. against Gala, it's about 10% lower. See that? The golden pocket, you've got a big SR flip here. We're already into oversold territory versus Gala. You see that? We're in oversold. These oversold are the places where you want to rotate back into Sui. If you want to rotate back into Gala, if you're going to play that game, yeah, then get one of these kind of oscillators like the CCI. When you're in overbought, rotate into Gala, scale into Gala. You can do 50% at a time. And when you're in oversold, rotate back into Sui. If you want to play that game, then this is how you play it. You just wait, and you just wait, and then you're kind of swinging between the two, but you're kind of getting the average of both. Okay, with the gains in between two or your swings, that would be a much safer strategy. Then you're not stressing, oh, why is my token not pumping? Okay, but at the moment, just bear in mind that structurally, I'd rather position myself back into Sui if you're in Gala. Like, this is coming into oversold. Now, I don't know if it's going to pump suddenly. Last time we came into oversold, it was here. You see it pulled up. Then the next time was here. Look at that. And now we kind of look, every single time you're in oversold, look at where Sui is versus Gala. And look what happens next. You see that? Okay, so here we are again. It's a great opportunity to think about rotating back to Sui, and there's big divergences here because clearly the move this is bearish, but now this is becoming bullish. It's becoming bullish because you've come right back into oversold, and the low is up there, whereas here the low is down here. So this is actually looking quite, at the lows this is looking really bullish. At the highs it was looking quite bearish, right? So I'm not financial advice. Not financial advice. The best opportunity to rotate back into Gala would be here, but I don't know if the market's going to give you that opportunity. Okay, I'm looking at Sui now. I'm thinking, wow, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good about Sui. Looking at this bearish harmonic, we still haven't hit my point. It's nice that this BTC. It's come back in to kind of like a nice clean back test here. That's an SR flip against BTC. It's held, so we're kind of on support. I'm wondering now if we kind of pump up, to be honest with you, kind of miss it, but kind of hit it. So even we kind of miss it by a couple of weeks, it's still kind of on target, because fib time is an area. It's never an exact line. Yeah, I've always said that. Yeah, I mean, look, if you're going to play that game, I promise you don't, I promise you the biggest mistake you'll make is all in and all out. Okay, don't do all in and all out. Okay, the only time you should be all out is if you hit a higher time frame level on a monthly level against USDT and BTC. You get massive confidence. I've talked about this, and you even said this is a really important video in your comment. I appreciate that, actually. Not that many people read it. I read it. You actually said that this is when it comes to all out, and even all out, you don't all out because you always leave a little bit left or a percentage left. When I'm looking at for example, when we're looking at USDT together, right? We'll be looking at this together, right? I certainly don't have a problem going back to USDT once the price of USDT dominance hits this area. I'm happy to be mostly all out of crypto by then. So that's kind of where you're looking at. You're looking at these higher time frame areas where that's what, even if this is like, even if it can go lower, that's the area to start to exit. That's really what you're looking for. You're not like, when you're playing intraday, it's a massive error to be all in and all out, like one day in, one day out, one day in, one day, like what the fuck? You're gonna lose money. You're gonna lose money on market fees, number one. You're gonna lose money on the spread, the market spread, yeah. You're gonna lose money because you'll never execute 100% perfectly. There's 3 ways you can lose money, yeah. So it's better to scale out, scale in, and never be all in, all out. Okay, even if you're scaling out to USD in the current market, it's better to scale in and scale out, not to be all in and all out, unless you're like a machine and you have the ability to be perfect. I think it's a bad idea. And the problem is emotions. You see a price going down and you become bearish. But look, BTC's going down, people are feeling bearish again, huh? But look, it could just go straight back up. Like, it's a good opportunity to buy. I think if you're going to feel bearish, you've got to get bearish at the right places, with the right kind of reaction. And then if you get the right, if it hits the right place with the right reaction, then act. Then then react. So that's kind of that. I like Sui a lot. Like I've always said. But again, I'm not all in Sui, just bear that in mind. Like, my biggest position isn't Sui. I'm just looking at it now. Let's have a look. I'll tell you what it is on my list. Just because I'm bullish on Sui doesn't mean I'm all in Sui. And so if it pulls back, I'm not really fussed because I'm looking at Cake and Cake is at $3.2. Right now, Cake is my 3rd biggest position size. Sui is number 6. Slurf is number 4. And Cake was like all the way down. It was like a number 20. It's just come all the way up in a crazy manner. Like it's at $3.17. Does it make sense? And so therefore I'm not all in. Sui's right now number 6. And so now Sui's pumping. I'm not buying more Sui. I'm leveraging a little bit, but I'm not like trying to sell something to buy it. Yeah. Because I already have a sizable position size. Yeah. I'm trying to catch all of the moves at the moment. And then I think by the end of this month, December, I'll be looking to reevaluate, because I think it's always dangerous to hold value across a higher time frame candle, like a yearly candle. Yeah. So if you look at BTC, the yearly candle, that year is quite unique because there was no wick, so it just went up. This is it's a tricky one because this is also a unique candle. It never, I don't know. It's a hard one because you could just get a market buy. Look, that was you got a little wick, and then it just went up. So I'm not sure actually. I'm just looking at this. I'm not 100%. It could just go up next year. In these 6-month candles. Yeah, but there are wicks. So look, that was a wick here. Got a nice wick, back test to there. Back test there. We've had back tests on the 6-monthly ones. This one we didn't. That was July 20th. This was January. That was a new yearly candle. We had a little pullback, huh? To there. All right. That was interesting. Let me have a look at the order flow quickly. Let me see if there's anything going on with order flow. Yeah, we've got this single print now. I wouldn't mind if we fill it. We're in a New York session at the moment. Shorts closing there. Shorts opening there. There's a big short that opened here. Look, 2.9 mil at the weekly point of control. Wouldn't mind if that short got liquidated. Can't tell. You'd have to go up to the VWAP for a rejection. Could it be a high low or a swing failure? I wouldn't mind if we went up for a rejection, but I think if it does go up, then that would be a good opportunity to scale back your leverage, if your leverage or your positions, if your positions are weak. Yeah, maybe it's also a good opportunity, like now is a good opportunity to add to your strong positions, and that's what I'm saying. So you've got to look at the market now and kind of look at your different coins. Some are pumping, so you know, that could be for today, that could be those could be the tokens that you focus on. Not all your coins are pumping, some of them are pumping, you know. So I'm looking at this now. Look, some of them are going up. C-pool, look at C-pool. And those are the strong ones, and so when Bitcoin is coming down, those are going up, and then when Bitcoin goes up, those continue. So it's kind of like a win-win. All right, I wanted to have a look at a couple of other things. So I'm not going to talk long about TRVL today. I had a really in-depth conversation with the community yesterday. I think yesterday's video was really kind of important. It was quite an important video. So if you're not following me on TRVL because you're not interested, that's fine. But I do a daily blog on TRVL, Dtravel, and you can find my daily blog here, the Dtravel Diaries, on my YouTube page. Dive into the exhilarating world of TRVL and Dtravel with my daily live video, etc. You can read that. I got AI to write that for me. And so far Dtravel, I've created 188 videos. Shit, that's a lot. We've been on this journey together, of price action, of the business, of the downs, the highs and the lows. Oh, that was my previous image. Ooh, doesn't look good, huh? And you know, this, I like that. I like journaling. This is a little bit of a journal. It's not my token. I am quite interested in it because I think there's a lot of potential. And yesterday I had a really important video. I think if you haven't watched that video and you do have a little bit of TRVL, then definitely watch it. It's only half an hour. I think it's the things that I say there are very relevant to what's going on and what needs to happen. But obviously it's good to have a conversation, and it's good to chat, and it's good to kind of brainstorm ideas and see if there's a way forward, because the issues that I raise really have to be addressed if we want to see higher prices. I think it's not reasonable to expect higher prices if the issues that I'm raising, I'm not really raising issues actually, I'm just highlighting other people's issues, if they're not addressed. And regardless of everything that people think, I'm still expecting higher prices. Like, I think the thing that people don't understand is how crazy bullish the bull market is for strong tokens. And even though you might think TRVL isn't a strong token, the structure is showing strength. There's strength in this structure at the moment. If anyone who's never looked at this token starts to kind of look at this token now, they're not feeling bearish. You're not looking at this token and thinking down, are you? Yeah, you're not thinking to yourself, this is going to go down now. You're thinking it's going to go up. Like, context is key. Context is vital. Yeah, you got some tokens. I'm looking at some tokens and I'm scared that they might go down further. Okay, and I've even closed out some positions, even though it's at the lows. I don't usually do this, but I had a CBY position, Carbify. I did an analysis on it a couple of days ago. I think it still has a potential to find a higher low here. It can't break 25 cents. It's like literally the worst place to sell. But the reality is, look at this. What the fuck? It could go down, huh? Like, you're not it's a big risk, because if it if it makes a lower low here and goes underneath 25 cents, then it could just drop much further. And the momentum of this market is detrimental. I've done a little trade plan. The momentum is detrimental to price rises. You have really unbelievably bearish momentum here. Unbelievably bearish. Yeah. Right now it's looking like a rug pull, to be honest with you. And so you have to bear these in mind. Yeah, when people look at the EMA is down, SMAs are down. What the hell? It feels like there's no recovery on this token, doesn't it? And even if it was to pump, if you could do probably 100 to 200% max at best before you got another dump, because there's a lot of trapped liquidity of people who are stuck in positions that they're trying to escape. They're trying to escape this downward momentum. There's literally, this would have to be a V-shaped recovery to recover. You'd have to have a massive increase in volume. Basically, whoever buys this would have to buy everyone out to take the price right back up. Okay, and then a V-shaped recovery technically has to take the all-time high. In this case, it would have to go all the way up to the all-time high. That would be the only move that I think that could recover this token. It would be a very strong move. If anyone did that, they'd be mental, because you're buying everyone out. You'd have to basically be ultra bullish on this token to do that. And even then, it's a massive risk. It's a big risk. I wouldn't do it. And so when you're looking at TRVL, we're not seeing that, are we? We're not seeing weakness like that. I've looked at like other tokens and compared them in the past. Like, remember KubeCoin? We talked about KubeCoin in the past together on my video in the past in my different streams. And if you're following me, you'll know that I've talked about. I bought some last year and I dumped it because it was shit. And look at it. And so naturally, when you're looking at TRVL, where did I dump my tokens? I don't know, probably about 2.8. I don't know, whatever this 2.8 is here on the right. Yeah. So it kind of lost the lows here. I kind of just dumped somewhere there. I took a loss. It's not a big deal. It's life. It's trading. That's why I don't take big positions. Somewhere there, it's already down. It's like 83% down for my exit. Somewhere there. It's 81% down for my exit. Why? Because these tokens, you can't recover them. The momentum is to the downside. Yeah. There's no recovery. The one pump that got, I think someone posted on one of my videos and they laughed because after we had this kind of crazy pump here, 35%. Look what happened. It was just sold into, because that's what happens when you have these tokens which is just dumping. Every pump is an opportunity to dump. Every pump is an opportunity for people to escape, to exit. Yeah, I think TRVL doesn't have that problem. It doesn't have that problem. We don't. These are also low liquid, low market cap tokens. This one's actually really cheap. Anyone like a whale could come and buy this token out. It's only like $150,000 or something like that, the whole market cap. But would you? No. Why? Because this price action is a reflection of everything bad. There's a direct correlation between bad product design, bad management, bad marketing, bad leadership, bad communication, bad everything. It's all in there. Everything there is bad. You're not buying a token, you're buying everything behind it, which is bad. It's a reflection of bad. Okay? Not good, bad. When you see that, you think bad. You don't think good. So when you look at TRVL, you're not thinking. I'm not thinking bad. I'm thinking actually this is quite good. I'm thinking this isn't looking too bad, isn't it? Oh, that's the Bitcoin chart. Sorry. Yeah. When I'm looking at that, I'm not seeing the same thing. Yeah. We're also a low liquid, low market cap, relatively speaking, low liquid, low market cap token, and I'm not thinking bad. Yeah, I think if we were gonna follow the same path as those other two tokens that I showed you, yeah, we wouldn't be where we are now, right? We'd look this. We were on that same path. We were on that trajectory. This was our initial trajectory, wasn't it? And if that trajectory had followed, I wouldn't be having a conversation with you because you wouldn't be watching me. No one would be interested. We'd be down here. maybe we had a little kind of a little pullback there, and then we just dump here. Or after we had that first pump, maybe we just continued, yeah, and we'd be here. Okay, like really, like that's a dead project, isn't it? That's a dead project. But we're not seeing death, we're seeing life. Okay, we're seeing accumulation, we're seeing higher time frame accumulation. This is what it is. This is a higher time frame accumulation on a very illiquid, low volume, low liquid token. So effectively what it is there's a lot of interest in this token, and every time it's dumped, dare I say dumped, but pulled back and attacked to the lows here, you've had aggressive accumulation, aggressive accumulation, aggressive accumulation, aggressive accumulation. Okay, and this is a higher time frame structure that's forming, which is showing that we have basically found the low. We found the low here. That is the low. I don't think this project's going to go any lower in the medium time, short to medium time frame. Okay, we're finding strength here on the monthly time frame. You can see that these big moving averages have gone flat. So which are these moving averages that are? This is a monthly time frame moving average. That's the EMA 20. That's the SMA 21. We've cleared both, and we're trying to kind of find support on these moving averages. In the past, we've cleared it before, and we've just lost it immediately. So this is a second attempt, isn't it? Another attempt. And potentially you could argue we had our first attempt here. First attempt, second attempt. This is our kind of third attempt to kind of change this structure from some kind of higher time frame downtrend to some kind of, at the very least, sideways motion to uptrend. Okay, so people aren't going to be looking at this going, oh, this is a pump and dump, or this is a shit coin. They're going to be thinking, okay, this is looking nice. We found the low. We're clearly not going lower, and we're in the context. Context is the bull market. I'm shopping around. I'm looking for altcoins. This is relatively low market cap. Oh, look, the website's nice. Oh, look, the tokenomics is pretty nice. Oh, look, the community's active. Oh, look, this guy's made a shit ton of videos talking about TRVL on YouTube. He keeps on talking about it. There must be something going on. Oh, wow, the business isn't too bad. Oh, Airbnb killer. Let me buy some. And so we're in that phase. Yeah, we're in that phase. TRVL is not underexposed in terms of the ability for people to buy it. It's on Bybit, it's on KuCoin, it's on Mexi, it's on Gate.io, it's on Uniswap, it's on Aerodrome now. There's a shit ton of volume on Aerodrome. People can buy it if they want to. When that happens, hold on, okay? And I think people don't understand alt season. What happens is that whales pick tokens up. They're looking for the whales are also shopping around. They're looking for tokens to pump. That's what whales do. Yeah. In the next 4 months, you'll be surprised how high we can get on a token like this because of the structure that's formed. Okay. So you'll be very surprised what could happen. I don't know what's going to happen. I literally don't know. I've mapped out a path just based on nothing, just based on us, or what could happen based on. I've mapped out a path just based on normal bog standard price action, and I posted that, and I've been very kind of descriptive about why I think this is possible without anything, without any kind of craziness, just normal price action. I've mapped out a path of what could happen. I think the next time we clear that, we could break, and then I think we get a pullback, and then we just find support and go up. Okay, and just normal. But I also appreciate that in the craziness of an altcoin market, when whales are just looking at these tokens, they got a shit ton of money, too much really. They're making too much money in the next few months, and they're just looking to pump another token and make it run. Okay, and I think this is a prime candidate actually. Now, I can't predict that it's going to happen. I have no idea, but I think this is a likely candidate for that kind of price action, because that's what you're going to get in the next few months. You're going to get tokens which really start to run, and the market kind of jumps onto those tokens, you get this crazy capital rotation. It usually starts with a low market cap token like this one right now, $20 million. And what happens is the market rallies behind these tokens and they take them from like $20 million to $500 billion. They just do it. It just goes mental. We're in that time zone. We're in that season. And that's why it's so exciting. And it's whatever happens, it's going to happen over the next 3 to 4 months. Now, personally, I would really want us to flip higher levels. The higher we can start, the better it is. But I don't necessarily think it matters at the moment. I don't think it matters if we consolidate here for a long period of time. Okay. In fact, the longer we consolidate here, the more likely it is that it's going to get picked up by those types of people that I'm considering, which are whales. I do potentially think that this wave one is over. Okay. I think if we were going to go up, we should have gone up. And so I think we're in a 2 correction right now, and it's a flat correction. Okay. So we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves. I think we're in a flat correction now. And the moving averages are underneath the price. So this is clearly bullish price action. Yeah. We've got these weekly time frame moving averages starting to turn and go up. You see that? We've cleared them, and the price is now consolidating here. The longer we go sideways here, the more bullish this becomes. Yeah. And in a bull market, when the bull run starts, the price will hit one of these higher time frame moving averages, which starts to turn. And then you get expansions. And then you get expansions. And then you get expansions. Yeah, that's how it happens. Yeah. I thought maybe in the last price up, we started to experience that a little bit. So if I just get rid of my EW and show you, get rid of all of these. Actually, we got a little bit of that, didn't we? We got a little bit of the, you see how on the daily time frame, we had a golden cross. Let me just show you the cross. Just hide that and change this to 200. We had the golden cross, and what was happening was that the price was just bouncing off these kind of moving averages. It was bouncing, it was bouncing, it was bouncing, bouncing, bouncing. Yeah. And that's the bull market for you. The bull market, the dips get bought and the price just keeps on trending upwards. You could even look at the Bollinger Band and the midpoint. That's probably a good indication of the trend in a bull market. And that's kind of what I'm looking at, as well as some other things. So kind of here we are now. We were in a downtrend. We were trending down. And now look, we're kind of trending up. You can see the Bollinger Band on the daily time frame is squeezing. Usually that's in preparation for another move, usually. And what tends to happen is you got this moving average starts to go up and the price starts to trend up with these moving averages. That's kind of where we're at. I think the longer we extend here, the more bullish this becomes. I really believe that, because here you've got, for example, this is the 3-day time frame. You've got this 3-day time frame midpoint. You see that it's coming up, and by mid-December, if the price is here, we're going to be at that level. That could cause the price to expand. And then if you look at the higher time frame, you see on the weekly time frame, we haven't actually started trending on the weekly time frame. If you look at this kind of higher time frame on the weekly time frame, it's been going sideways. We haven't actually started a weekly trend to go up. And right now, this could be it. This could be the next kind of place. If we can just go sideways here, get a weekly time frame golden cross here in the next few weeks, and the price is still here, and you get a little golden cross here, maybe. How would it be? Oh, we've had our golden cross. Have we? That's not a golden cross. That's a 20, isn't it? Let me have a look at this one. Let me just hide that. Oh, there's no 200 here. So here you see on the 3-day chart, we haven't had a golden cross yet. You get a little golden cross here on the daily. We've had our golden cross. Look at that. We've had our golden cross on the daily time frame. That's when the price hit here. We're going sideways. And so the last time we had a golden cross, look what was happening. We were here, that was a cross. And then shortly afterwards, the price was just trending on the 50 SMA. So I'm kind of really like, I think that's regardless of what happens. I think what happens in a bull market is you get trending price action on the higher time frame, because all of a sudden you get a pylon from the market. They often will start with these lower market cap tokens, which are really strong projects. And we are very strong because we're connected to Fetch. We've got an AI agent on the Fetch marketplace, either in development or being developed or almost ready to be. I don't know how it works, but it's all published. I think one of those iterations, I'm not 100% how it works technically. And then also we've got our real world traveler app where people can use that to book accommodations across the world. And that's a growing real world network deep in. And then also we've got a really strong community. We've got really strong bullish market structure forming on these timeframes. We've got a lot of great things for this project to go up. That's it, regardless of what, this is why I keep on saying, a lot of people get really kind of stressed about, oh my God, we haven't done this, the team hasn't done that, why haven't they done this, or why are they not doing that? I don't think it necessarily makes much difference now. I think we're at a stage where we might see an explosive move, despite Tom, Dick and Harry, whatever, and whatever team does what, because this is looking good. Now, it doesn't mean that people at Dtravel can't help to make this look better. Yeah, they certainly can. Yeah, so a Coinbase launch would bring a lot of attention to this project. It would bring in a lot of volume, and it would bring a lot of exposure of new entrants, new people looking to buy projects, shopping altcoins. Yeah, so that would be helpful. And also it does allow, it does kind of get us on that kind of, it increases the volume and it kind of reduces the risk for bigger players to enter. So it does help, it can help. But I'm also thinking to myself, it may not matter, because once we break, I think with a back test of this key level, this is 382, you can see it's clearly acting as a support resistance. It's a touch above 9 cents. It's basically 10.5 cents. If we can flip that into support here, then we're basically we're rocking to the all-time highs. I really believe that, with some pit stops along the way. Okay, I think that's going to happen in the next few months personally, and I think it could culminate at the end of April. And I think the rest of the market, the crypto market, is going to do it for us. I think the higher we get, the higher we go. And so that's kind of what I'm imagining when I talk about let's throw everything at it, or let's do this, or let's do that. I'm only thinking higher prices. I'm only thinking $5 or $9 or $25. That's what I'm thinking. People think I'm crazy, but actually it's still within our reach to get to the higher numbers. I do think though, what we need to do is we need to get to 35 this year. I think that helps, because the reason why I say that is because when you look at the candlesticks on a chart like MEX, you have this yearly level here, which hasn't been hit yet. And it would look better if we can hit that level this year. Yeah, and close, we need a close above last year's high. Type line. That's kind of what you want to see. Yeah, that's what I'm imagining. So let me just kind of draw it out for you so you can understand what I'm imagining that needs to happen. I'm gonna kind of try to do it with print and copy and paste. Let me see. This. I'm gonna copy and paste this candle. It's looking fat. No, it's got to go higher. Okay. Shit, did it wrong. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Oh no, that's wrong. Nope. Why is it oh yeah, bring to front. There. Right, so my candles look kind of really bizarrely ugly. I'm kind of trying to visualize it for you guys so you see what I'm imagining. Yeah, that's it. All right, you get the idea, right? It's a funny shaped candle. What I would like to see is this next candle. And actually, I would the higher the close, the higher the close, the better. So if we could close like as high as possible, maybe not a swing failure of the previous year. Maybe a lower high there, but higher close. And so effectively what I'm thinking is if we could close above last year's high and clear the liquidity from the early level, then we're ready to continue. Then this candle looks like a continuation. It looks like a reversal. And then what you look for is a back test and continuation. So the next candle, you're looking for continuation of this candle, taking us to higher highs. That's kind of what I'm picturing right now. If we can make it happen, maybe not a swing failure of that previous year, maybe slightly lower there, but you kind of want to close higher. All right, that's really what I'm thinking right now, and that's why I'm saying it has to be this year. I wouldn't mind if it was increasing volume as well. And this is the challenge as well, because at the moment when you're looking at the volume, this is MEXC. If I take the combined chart, and the problem is in the combined chart, we're missing KuCoin, so I can't see the volume, but it is increasing volume. If you look at this yearly candle, we've got last year and we've got this year. So last year on the combined chart, we put $1.15 billion TRVL worth of volume. And this year we've already put 2 billion TRVL worth of volume. This is increasing volume. This is healthy increase in price. So I don't think we're going down. There's no way that I actually think down. I'm thinking up. Just based on increasing prices, increasing volume across all the exchanges. I think this is extremely healthy. But what I would like to see, if possible, is what I'm describing here. Is a higher close and for the liquidity at the yearly level to be grabbed, to be taken. And the reason why I say that is because then if we can just back test the previous year high, and effectively what this is it goes up, people take profit as high as possible, they take their profit, you get a pullback, it closes higher than the previous year high, so the close indicates that people are still hodling, they're hodling for higher. Yeah, that's what the closes usually indicate. If you close lower, it means it's people aren't hodling for higher. They've sold into the lower part of that wick. And so in that situation, if you close lower, there is a chance that you revisit the bottom of the candle here. You actually have a revisit before you go up. When you close higher, it means that actually even despite the selling, so the wick indicates selling, so it's a take profit in the current candle, but it actually ended closing higher. So people took profit, but the price actually held higher, which meant that people were still hodling into the next year for continuation. So there is a kind of logic or some kind of psychology in what happens. And then the next candle, you have a little back test on that level, probably in a reaccumulation period, and then you push up for continuation. And the reason why I want to see this yearly level tapped or taken or the liquidity grabbed, because then the next candle, if we do have a little back test and up, we just go up. Because the people who sold into that level have already sold. So the first time they sell, you don't get that the second time. The second time it's clear, and then you can head for higher prices. And then obviously the next kind of big target in this context would be the all-time high. And then if you can do that quickly, get to all-time highs quickly, you get exactly the same behavior. You get another big sell, but maybe on a lower time frame, and then you can back test or backflip one of these higher levels on the monthly time frame. It would look like this, and then you'd be looking to back test one of these monthly levels for another reaccumulation and for up. Okay, so I'm just kind of logically mapping out how the candles can play out on the higher time frame for us to get to high. But I think it's all possible with nothing, without us doing anything. And that's what I've always said, that like, if you've ever watched my videos, if you've been following me, I've said we can get there with nothing to do, just as long as we maintain bullishness. And I see bullishness, I see bullish structure forming at the weekly time frame, and I see bullish volume on the highest time frame. And so we could explode. It won't necessarily be a prolonged explosion, so I do expect the price to come back down. It's a very different looking chart than some charts. You know, some charts you have exponential continued growth, and so actually when I'm looking at certain charts, like I'm looking at Dtravel, for example, and obviously some people who are TRVL have got AVA and Dtravel, and Dtravel is actually pumped quite a lot, you know, so it's looking really bullish, isn't it? I did actually say a couple of weeks ago, you know, AVA is looking really good. And why is it looking good? Well, it's a very different chart to TRVL, isn't it? And I've explained this many times in my streams. I've said it's a really good chart. It's a really nice chart because you had an accumulation period zone, you had the expansion, and then you had the drawdown. That's the drawdown. And then you've got this is the reaccumulation. The reaccumulation is happening above the previous range. You have a brand new range forming here, a brand new reaccumulation range. It's finding support on the previous accumulation range. That's the drawdown. We're not in this situation. Yeah, we have a very different chart to Dtravel. We've gone down 3 times to form effectively a triple bottom on a higher time frame. So the next move is a massive breakout. It's a very different kind of chart when you compare it to a chart like Dtravel. Okay, this is a triple bottom. We've gone down 3 times. We've put in a higher low. Guess what's happening next? The next move is a breakout, and the breakout will be epic. You have to trust me. Yeah, when I say this, it's going to be an epic breakout. Yeah. It has to be. It will be. Yeah. This is what the chart is telling us. The chart is telling us we've had higher time frame, increasing volume. The next move is going to be an epic breakout. Okay. So you have to just be patient with this token. And what we need is more and more positive, bullish vibes in the community. We can't get negative now. So people are looking at the volume and they're getting a little bit panicky. Okay. This is not dumping. This is going up, right? But the question, well, for me right now is how fast, how quickly, yeah, and by when do we peak, right? But with Dtravel, when you're looking at Dtravel, it's a very different chart. I mean, Dtravel is actually a really nice chart too. I wish we could have had a Dtravel chart because it would have made our lives a lot. Dtravel was an easy chart because it was accumulation and expansion and drawdown, reaccumulation, and next move. Guess what it is? It's an expansion. So when you're looking at Dtravel, you're looking at, if you look at the regular chart, if I just hide these expansions, these brush strokes, when you're looking at the regular chart, let me just hide this is, oh god, Dtravel is a really nice chart, by the way. It's a really lovely chart. But the next move in Dtravel is going to be epic. Yeah, I've seen this chart so many times. This is a normal chart, it's not log. See, accumulation, expansion, drawdown, reaccumulation above the previous accumulation. Guess what the next move is? Parabolic. The next move is a parabolic move on this chart. You're going to see craziness on this chart too. It's going to go up, burn up, burn up. It's going to be crazy. Yeah. That's the next move. It's a very different chart to TRVL. That is your exit. Then you get a draw. That's your exit, and you get another drawdown. Okay, and then this kind of gets a little bit wild, and this chart will just get really volatile for a period of time. It will just get whatever volatile, and then on the higher time frame, if it does that, flips that level into support. A chart like this will do that. Okay, this is a very different chart with TRV, and because it's doing that, the momentum is always kind of upwards. The higher time frame momentum is what I'm thinking about, not the lower time frame. I'm not really fussed about lower time frame momentum at the moment. The monthly 50 is mega flat, which is nice. It's not down, it's flat. And the weekly time frame momentum is flat too. So you have really nice flat momentum, but the reality is the highest time frames, as you go higher and higher, the momentum is up because of the way it expanded in the first instance. So I can't show you because we don't have a 50 moving average, but whenever the 2-month 50 prints, it's going to be up. We're going to have an upward momentum on that eventually. So we're not in that situation with TRVL. I think TRVL will be expansive just simply because of the structure break, for a structural break in the context of the right season, the right time, yeah, where crypto expands to extremely high prices. That's what I think. Yeah, it's really, I strongly believe this. It's a gut feeling, I guess. You can look at the volume, you can look at certain aspects and feel bearish if you want, but actually what I'm looking at here will be a structural break, and then it will be really explosive. It will be a blow off, to be honest with you. It's not going to be, we're not going to go up and stay up. It's not going to be like Dtravel the second time where it goes up and probably creates a new range. It'll be very different. Potentially this is the first big move on this token to the upside, so it'll be quite explosive, and then obviously you're going to get a nice kind of drawdown like that, probably. It's kind of what I'm imagining. People think I'm crazy, but I actually think we have the potential in TRVL to go to crazy numbers. I really do. It just depends on the rest of the market. I think a lot of tokens, there's going to be crazy capital rotation between token. And the reason why I say that is because XRP did 70% of Bitcoin's volume recently. Yeah. That's unbelievable. I'm really shocked, actually, to be honest with you. I'm like baffled by what we're seeing in the market right now. Yeah. For me, this is the biggest bullish sign ever. The fact that XRP is doing $44 billion worth of volume, BTC coin market cap. Like, honestly, I never really expected this. And when you don't expect something and it's more bullish than you think, then actually it's more bullish than you can imagine. You see the volume on Bitcoin is $63 billion and the XRP volume is $44 billion. This is crazy volume for a token that's only worth $154 billion, whereas Bitcoin is worth $1.8 trillion, 1.888. See, the volume to market cap on Bitcoin is 3% and XRP is at 28%. XRP probably wants to go higher, to be honest with you. Just looking at this, it gives me the sense of, I really feel that XRP probably wants to go higher. But it's too late. Like, you're not going to chase that, are you? Even if it goes up to $1 trillion, even if it does another 5x from here, you're not going to chase that, are you? You can't. You just can't. Yeah, it's too late. For a lot of people, it's too late. You'd have to scale in. You'd have to wait for the only time that you can really catch XRP, I think, would be when the fear greed index goes back down to like 20 or 30. That would be the right time to enter XRP. But the reality is what I'm seeing with XRP, and when you do have a look at the top 10 tokens, let me find them here. I can't believe it. I can't believe that XRP is at number 3. I'm in shock, to be honest with you, because like 40% of XRP tokens are privately held, privately owned. It's really, it's crazy. XRP is the centralized token. It's owned by Ripple, and a big portion of those tokens are privately held, like by one organization. It's ridiculous that this is now trading at 100, whatever it is, 54 billion, and with the volume is crazy. They can actually extract all of their value now easily. That company, that Ripple company, if they wanted to, there'd be no blip on the price. That's how much. That's how crazy this is. It's doing more volume than ETH. It's unprecedented, to be honest with you. So I think we're in for a crazy bull market because there's a lot of value being transferred between tokens right now. Yeah, there's a lot of value flipping between tokens. Right now, the spotlight is on the blue chips. Yeah, and it's not even on the blue chips because ETH hasn't really moved. And BNB hasn't, well, it has moved a bit. Some of these tokens haven't really moved, but the focus right now is on the blue chips. Then the focus is going to shift to the slightly lower market cap tokens. Then you're going to have meme coins and other tokens, and then it's just going to kind of pass on. It's going to filter down. Yeah. And then what you're going to get is these really low market cap tokens like TRVL, which are going to go ballistic. Okay. Now, I wouldn't mind if TRVL was on Bybit derivatives. Like if I want to do one thing, if I was to do one thing, it would be if I was Dtravel, I want to just do one thing. Apart from a Coinbase listing, which is always welcome, which is never unwelcome, that would be a big deal. But if I want to do one thing and I had the power to do it, I would do whatever it took to get this token on Bybit derivatives. Just because of the volume, Bybit derivatives volume. It's because of the amount of volume that's on Bybit. Actually, I can't really see it there. Yeah. $55 billion worth of vote. You know, like when you have a $20 million coin and you have $55 billion worth of 24-hour trading volume with $26 billion worth of open interest, then I wouldn't mind some of that. I wouldn't mind if TRVL caught a little bit of that, and that is how we're going to go really high really quickly. That's the one thing I would change. So if you're looking or watching my videos and you're like saying, well, what can we do, can we help? Yeah, you can. I think lobby Dtravel to get us on Bybit derivatives. Like if everyone did that I think that would be enough. And I don't think we need to do anything else. We just need to be really patient, really calm, really cool collected cucumbers. Let's just be patient. Let's not panic. Don't panic sell. I think if you want to trade, I've given you the level. We have to hit the yearly level. That's around 30 cents. Then the pullback for a back test or a back test of 10 cents. And then we're probably going to all-time highs. The minute you hit all-time highs, the probability is that we'll overshoot. That's the probability, because you're looking at structural breakout to the upside. Yeah. And that's how the market will view it. The market will view it as extremely bullish, a higher time frame break, and then we could end up continuing. But I do feel that Bybit derivatives would help. All right. Hi, Alcorn joining. Nice to see you. I'm gonna actually have to. It's crazy. You come and I'm gonna have to go soon. Look, it's 12:52. I literally have to go for an hour. In about 10 minutes. So the question is, do I leave my stream and just go AFK, or do I just restart my stream when I get back? That's the question. And I haven't done what I wanted to do. Oh, okay. Let's have it. God, not financial advice. Damn. That's a scary question, huh? But you know what I'm going to say, huh? You should always take profits. Oh, fuck me. It's nice, huh? Really nice. Iris Moonboy will. I've got it coming on this Fib time, huh? This weekend. Just be aware of that. So yeah, you're coming close to a move, to a pivot, a key pivot. See that? By Friday. How did I? Let me see how I drew that. Yeah, that's a very important Fib time, based on just based on these three pivots from there to there. just basically these two pivots actually, and you've got a 1.61. So 1.68. What is that fib time? 618. So no, it's a triple pivot. How did I come to this pivot? I don't understand. Hold on, let me just see if this is correct. For some reason I've got it to there. I must have done it on the weekly time frame. Let me have a look. No. I don't know how I came to that pivot when I did it last. I'm not sure why I did that. Is that not launching? There it is. Yeah, you've got it. You've got it there too. Look, you've got this 1.618. You've had the back test of the golden pocket. You've got the zone, dude. Literally got the zone. You're wondering if it can go higher to all-time highs. I think in that sense, I would contemplate risk to reward. How far away are from the all-time high? 72%, yeah. Still looking, the daily time frame candle is a continuation candle. You could wait for a reversal if you want on a daily time frame. It doesn't mean that you couldn't get it at any point in time. You're kind of looking for like a selling tail, something to tell you that we're reversing. You are creating bearish divergences here, decreasing volume, increasing prices. It's still going up. It's a little mini V-shaped recovery there, so it's still bullish. This is still bullish. Structurally, you've got SR flips. You've got like an SR flip. So as long as you see these kind of structure continue to flip levels, you could stay in this. And then you could just, if you wanted to, you could wait for a little market structure change before you decide, okay, this is out, I'm out. Okay, not necessarily on a daily time frame, but you could be looking at the lower time frames, because at the moment you can see that the structure is still bullish, isn't it? Lower, higher lows, higher highs. You can clearly see that, can't you? Like even here on this, where it came here, look, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. You're getting higher lows. And you're getting kind of higher highs, aren't you? So the structure is still bullish, isn't it? And so you could kind of think to myself, well, actually, let me just wait for a change, at the very least, for a change of structure. And at the time, and also, I don't know why. I'll have to go back to my video and kind of listen to myself, which I'm not going to do now. But I've got some kind of pivot coming here this weekend. So that we are coming into some kind of area, a time zone here, where I would expect the price to find resistance, and that would be it. That would be your pivot. Okay, 2, 3, and then in terms of counting waves, well, I don't know how we did this, but was that your wave 1, 1, 2? Yeah, probably. I think I remember. I think I said that your wave 5 kind of ended here somehow. I'm not sure. Not sure why I did it there and not here. Maybe here would have made more sense because that's when it started. Oh, okay, I know why. Because there's an actual pivot there. That's why I did it there, because there's a daily pivot there. Look, see that pivot? So I've just done it, literally I've just done it from pivot to pivot. Oh yeah, so that's why because, all right, now I understand. I am actually saying that the wave 5 ended here with that pump and dump, that last pump, that last impulse and down. That's why I marked it to there. So on the daily time frame, actually, this makes sense now. So I think you've got a really important 618 coming at the end of this week. And I think if you can just find the resistance there, and also I've got this 618 as well. That's probably a good place to take profit, probably. So 0.8. How much further is it from where we are now? Another 33% increase in value for a nice 618 back test. And that 618 was, again, oh, how did I create that 618? It was from the all-time low here to, so it's from 0 to 1 to the beginning of the next wave. So it's a very important level, that 618. You see that? That's from there all the way up to there, down to here. And that's your 618, and it's actually slightly below the all-time high. So possibly try and front run the all-time high and start taking profit at the 618. I think because of the way the price is moving, I don't see why it wouldn't hit the 618, because it's not even that above the, sometimes it's above the all-time high, and you might get resistance at the all-time high. In this case, it's actually below the all-time high. So therefore you kind of think to yourself, maybe people will be waiting for the all-time high, but actually the right place to take profit is the 618. Yeah, this will get quite bearish quite quickly, because people are like, oh my god, this is bearish, lower high, we didn't take the all-time high. And then that's when you're going to get a nice pullback or a back test, hopefully. I mean, who knows, but a nice back test of this, a corrective move all the way down to back test this one and then we can just pump up and take the all-time high. That would be nice for, who knows, but I mean the next pivot is in January, and I don't know when that, if that would happen like this, how this would play out, to be honest with you. But does that help a little bit? I don't know. That's kind of what I'm seeing right now. What's the volume? So you're risking another 30% increase in value. And so calculate your risk to reward. Contemplate your current position. If you haven't taken profit, how much profit you're in, and then you're risking all of that profit for another 30%. So in that case, it might be worth you just scaling out now slowly until you hit your target. And so therefore you could take like 10% and then you can structure it, or just wait for a signal, a lower time frame signal, like just wait for the right reaction off that level. Kind of, you could play it like that too. So you could just be patient, but you have to, in that case, you have to be monitoring it. I'm just looking at this structure here. Look, it's nicer, the 618, because it's back into this head and shoulders pattern. I'm gonna have to go now. Why can't I get volume here? There's no volume here either. It's a bit weird. Why is the volume not printing? What the hell? Extend right. There, see that? So it's kind of it's basically the point of control of this head and shoulders pattern, this previous range. Honestly, it is also possible that you just can't get into that head and shoulders pattern, which would be the value area low. So if you see the value area low rejecting the price, that'll be your first signal for a take profit. We're almost there. Maybe comment. Almost there. Previous range. Because the thing is, so this is the thing, getting into that level is a sign of strength. Then if you can flip that level into support, you're probably definitely going to get to your target. And then obviously if you get a massive rejection, losing it, and then you're going right back down, aren't you? So I think there's a kind of a line in the sand there, just on this little previous range. This value very low here, and you would expect the price to reject at that 618 because it's coming into the point of control of this range. So if there are trap traders here, they will exit when after they see this price come up at break even. That's kind of where you could see a reversal pattern form on this time frame. So I think that's a good place though. Good trader. What is this R trade? ART. Don't think I have it. Is it on Bybit? Because I only might be, no. All right. I have to go and I have to pick up my nephews from school. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to stop the stream and then I'll come back again and later. I think that's probably the best option. The thing is, I haven't actually done what I wanted to do, so I wanted to have a look at SWELL and Prop S, which sucks. All right, I'm going to go AFK for an hour. I'll come back and I'll do those two because I want it to be in the same stream, and then I'll just have to cut the I'll have to just cut it. I'll just leave my stream AFK. BTC. Be nice if we get a pump for a little up to there for another rejection, because you've got a little bit of a head and shoulders pattern forming. I wouldn't mind the little like that if it's possible. That would be really nice, and then dump all the way down to here. I don't know what's going to happen here. I think that's possible. New York open, up, 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 and then dump. Got to keep an eye on it. This is looking bearish at the moment, so rounding top. Wouldn't mind if a little goes up and then a little dump. That would be really nice. I think it's good to wait for divs, for divergence for sure. Let me look at the other chart. But I do see decreasing volume, so there is divergence. There is divergence here. I can see it. Look, oh, this lower is a lower peak on the on this here. There is divergences. There is bearish divergence. All right. So really apologize, guys. You can just hang out if you want. Be back in 1 hour. Fuck. And I will continue with SWELL and SWELL is looking stronger, looking really good. Good call, huh? I made a little bit of money on SWELL already. Shit. All right. It's going to be about an hour. I'm going to pick them up, take them for lunch, and I'll be back. Right. And then my BTC analysis is at the beginning of this live stream, and I've already analyzed TRVL, back and rewatch. that's messy. But I've got a bullish harmonic here if it plays out. But that will be by Friday again, so I'm not sure if it's going to play out. All right, I'm back in about an hour. 10K now. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. All right, see you in a bit, guys. Guess what? I'm still here. I have to go. I go in 20 minutes, so I can actually finish the stream, and then I can stop it. And this isn't going to look stupid. You guys are like, what happened? All right. Let's look at swell and prop S, and I can finish the stream. Still here? Yeah. There it is. I need to bring it up because it's in my new list. Actually, it isn't because I didn't buy any spot. I'm just trading it. I'll bring it down. So swell. What is swell doing? Yeah, so I looked at swell yesterday. If anyone's watching me for the first time, I did a kind of swell analysis. It took a little bit of time, so you might not have the time to watch it. If you do want to watch it, it's on my YouTube. I created a new video for it. If this loads. Let's have a look at TRVL. Oh, sorry about that. Swell. So you can have a look at that if you want. And so kind of just wanted to reanalyze it. And kind of what I was imagining was strength here would be to reclaim the point of control, reflip pivot for SR flip, and reclaim the trend line. So we've clearly crossed the trend line, this kind of trend line, this downtrend. We had our perfect bounce at the 618. We were kind of looking at it when it was kind of coming in back in for a second test of the 618 yesterday. And it went up like 10% already, and we kind of, it's quite nice. So it's really nice. It kind of did what I wanted it to do. Back up, back test, and then up. You see that? So that was the safe entry because you have a really tight invalidation on an SR flip above the point of control. And so if this is to continue, we're not expecting it to go down, right? That would invalidate the trade, and then you'd have to wait for strength again because you've lost the point of control again. Okay, so at the moment it's looking quite nice, isn't it? It's looking quite nice. Is this impulsive? Are we in an impulsive move right now? Well, the way to know is to kind of look at previous impulsive moves. This is the kind of the real impulse, isn't it? That's like the crazy impulse. So I don't know if we're impulsing just yet. I'm not 100% sure that we are. I'm wondering if this correction is still continuing a little bit longer. But it is possible also that this is our first kind of mini impulsive move. That's the other thing. So could that be your little wave 1, a wave 2, little wave 3, and then we're looking for a little wave 5 here for just to kind of find just to kind of show support here before we kind of really explode. Yeah, that is possible too. So it is possible that we have a kind of really mini wave 1 before we have an explosive next wave. But really the impulsive price action that I want to start seeing is this. It's just non-stop greens with increasing volume. Okay, so it's looking quite good at the moment. It's not looking bad. I don't like to see red candles when the price wants to impulse. I want to see green, 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 green. This is the point of control. Let me just see if the volume has somewhat changed. Nope. Volume is okay. I'm wondering if we have a one. I am wondering if we have a little kind of test to go up like that, like a proper test, not like a mini SR flip test like that, which was nice. I am wondering if we do actually get a real test on the point of control, find support, a big massive SR flip here, and then I wonder if we can actually expand from that, like a proper expansion, like a real explosive move, which is kind of what you want to see. Could this be a little mini 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? It is possible, and it's also possible that we're still correcting. This whole thing is still corrective. It is also possible that we're still correcting, and you'll get the first impulse like this, like that, from a lower position. You just don't know. We just don't know what's going to happen. Yeah. At the moment, it's looking good because you can clearly see there's an SR flip in play on this structure, and we found a little bit of strength by flipping it into support. We're above the point of control, so whenever the price is above the point of control, that's generally considered a strength. And in this context, the point of control corresponds with the point of control of this previous range, and you could argue that we've also trying to flip this previous range into support because it corresponds with this SR flip. So there's a lot of nice signs here, and I think what we're expecting is a really impulsive continuation of this wave one, and that what I'm thinking, if possible, is for that to take us to the 1.618 here, which would be the target of that previous high. Confirmation would be initially to take out this high, and then you're aiming for the next high. That's kind of these are the two pivots we're after. And if we get a nice pullback to find support on this first pivot, then we're looking for continuation to take us to the all-time high. That's kind of what I'm looking for, and then we have to see how this plays out. So it's looking quite good. It's looking quite good. I'm taking profit. I'm not just buying and hodling. I'm not that kind of person. I do take profit. If I get another, if I see it coming back into support, I see it's finding a little bit of support, I'll start longing again, compounding my profit for higher prices. That's the way I play it. Obviously, there's different ways people do it. Some people like to just fire and forget, and have invalidation of the low, and just be done with the trade, and just aim for higher in the first instance and try and maximize their profit in their trade. I mean, there's different ways people like to play it. All right, that's kind of my swell update. It's looking good. It's looking quite nice. Really looking good. So from here, like a 60% increase in value. If we can get to the 1.618 and we can get to the all-time high, then you're looking for an 82% increase in value. That'd be nice. That'll be another higher high, and then this whole thing starts to become really bullish because you're just putting highs and higher highs and higher lows. Let me have a look also at something else now quickly before I go. Oh, it's up here, isn't it? So yeah, prop S. Prop S, isn't it amazing? So if people have been following me on prop S, I've been mapping this chart out on my X channel, on my YouTube channel. Prop S, bullish impulsive move begins. What else is there? Prop S, let's have a look. What do they do on prop S? Prop S, like prop S, like I mean following prop S quite a lot recently, though. 3 weeks ago, like prop S, 3 weeks ago, prop S looking really bullish, impulsive way soon. 1 month ago, prop S looking bullish. What's next with prop S? yeah, there's some things I've been doing on Prop S. So the most recent one was a day ago. Prop S bullish move begins. What happens next? And when I kind of did this stream, I was just kind of mapping out. I've started putting chapters in my videos. Where is it that I want to see? I don't know. I don't really know. Let's have a look. Where was it? So Prop S was about 12.7, 12.9 cents. I was kind of mapping out this move. And now you can see Prop S is kind of pushed up again. So it's clearly, I was clearly right, wasn't I? So I don't mean to brag, but I've been talking about this. What chart was it? Yeah, I've been talking about this correction coming to an end. I was talking about the price finding support on this point of control of this value area. I was talking about this midpoint of this channel. I was talking about the timings. It was coming to an end. I couldn't, it's hard to pinpoint the times exactly sometimes, but I knew it was roughly coming to an end. Then we started to get this kind of impulsive move. It's quite interesting because people were quite disheartened with Prop S because everything's pumping since the 4th of November. Yeah. And you get a little kind of Prop S mini pump here. Not much. And people in Prop S are like, oh, what's going on? My token is shit. But actually, when you're mapping out this move and this corrective move, you can clearly see that we're still correcting. Okay. And so people are like scared. Oh no, Prop S is actually going to go to zero. But the reality is that this was just still correcting. We were looking to find support here, and now we're starting to impulsively move, aren't we? So it's looking quite nice. My last video is about 12.7. We're like 22% higher. Yeah, so don't use my channel as a signal, but I don't have a bad hit rate. You know, usually when I'm looking at something, it does try to go up. 1 ABC, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is it over? Is it over? Is that the first wave? Let's just kind of figure this out. 1 ABC, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe there's a little bit more here in this first wave. As long as we continue, yeah. If that was your first kind of little mini impulse one, ABC, a little extended flat here for a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's correct. Why is that correct? It's because look, I'm looking at the rules. You see that? 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect back tests of the top of the 1 for a 5. See that? That's your 3. This is just the 1. I'm just imagining that as the 1. And then you have an ABC extended flat here for a 2. Okay. So I'm just kind of imagining the price action. So possibly that's the end of the 3 there. And then you're looking for a 2 correction for another wave to complete your 1. That's kind of where I'm at right now with this. This is actually a really nice V-shaped recovery. Increase in volume, increasing prices, really bullish, extremely bullish price action here. See that? Increasing volume, increasing prices. This is a bullish V. These are like the most bullish chart patterns you can get. It's going to find support to go up, but at the very least you can't lose this neckline on this V, okay, for another continued move, for another expansive move, possibly to complete this one somewhere. It's kind of where we're at now with Prop S. It doesn't have to come back to the neckline. If people are bullish and they're seeing this and they're like, shit, I need to get in, I messed up, I sold, I should have bought, what's going on, what should I do, they FOMO, they just keep on buying now, they're just buying. Yeah, so even though technically that's correct, you could easily get a nice flat correction here and find support here for continuation, and actually the gap doesn't fill. Effectively what happens is there's so much bullish sentiment here, bullish FOMO here, that it doesn't actually come down. But technically you kind of want it to come down to go up. That's kind of what you want to see. And so that would complete the first one here, then you're looking for a 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe we can just go up in the whole of December. Maybe. Why not? Let's do it. Let's go up. Let's go up. So let's see how this plays out. I like the kind of the impulsiveness now. Yeah. And you know, like with this, it's gonna sometimes these waves, it's a slow pickup and then it starts to get really expensive. If we take out the all-time high, there is a 618 at the all-time high. So that is a big take profit, but you know, putting in a higher high is bullish. Yeah. So while you might have a big take profit, that will actually be the first pullback will be a real good opportunity to get in, because higher highs, especially all-time highs, higher all-time highs in a bull market is conducive for higher highs continuation. Yeah, it's not bearish to get a rejection from an all-time high, from a higher high and an all-time high in a bull market. It's actually bullish. You just have to buy the dips, sell the highs. That's kind of what we want to see. We want to see higher all-time highs and higher lows, higher all-time highs and higher lows, until we just keep on going to the moon. All right. I've still got my higher time frame resistance level. Nothing's changed as far as I can tell, and that's coming in at 80, somewhere between 85 to 87 cents. So from the current price, I've still got a higher time frame target of 450% increase in value. If I see a reaction there on time, probably by the end of the month, I will be looking to potentially scale back a little bit with a view to selling the highs and catching the next corrective move for the next big wave. Yeah, for the next big wave. So we have to kind of map this out and see what's going on and how it continues. I'm imagining that this first wave is from here to here. This was the 2. So let's just see how far we can get with this next wave, this next 3. I don't know. Do we stop there for a small 3, or is actually our 3 about to go really ballistic to like crazy heights? Yeah, no one really knows. No one can predict this. Okay, could the 3 be could the whole 3 extend to wherever this fib time is, the end of Feb, for a 4 down to there, and could these like pivots really play a massive role? Could we be like doing 5 waves now up to the end of Feb to higher numbers, to all the way up to $75? You know, who knows? No one really knows. But I've got these major pivots. They are playing a role. So the next major one is somewhere at the end of Feb. Maybe we just continue all the way up. I don't know. All right. So we're just going to see what happens. All right. Can you enter this now and just, would you, is it good to FOMO in right now? Yeah, FOMO. Go FOMO. Push the price up. FOMO. I'm not financial advice, but I do like what I see. Yeah? It's not looking too shabby. And this is on Max. Let me just have a look and see where most of the volume is, because I haven't looked at it. Prop S token. Oh yeah, it's on Max, yeah. So most of the volume is on Max. That's nice. Wouldn't mind if they launched on Bybit, huh? If anyone from the prop base executive are watching this, you know, get us on Bybit, huh? Get prop base on Bybit. Let's go up. Bybit derivatives. That's what we want. Prop base on Bybit derivatives. Let's get the big volume involved into this market, I think. The weekly time frame is looking really amazingly, is beautiful. Look at that. This is a very nice reversal pattern. Last week closed higher. It completely closed above these previous weeks, and now we've got a continuation. We had a really nice back test of the previous week high, and then up we go. Yeah, so just looking at this structure, I think the next target really is somewhere around the all-time high, and then hopefully we can take out the all-time high. And the last time that happened here, look what happened. It just went up and up and up and up, didn't it? So last time you took out that all-time high in this kind of manner, consolidation, correction, clean break, and this the TUS token went up 600%. Yeah, so that was from the all-time high. 500% from the all-time high. 500% from the all-time high will take us to really high numbers. But I'm really contemplating that big fib level, which is at about 85 to 87 cents. Yeah. Then the rest is just kind of lots of kind of levels in between. So we can't really predict that until we get to a really another high level in the future, which would be a crazy high level at 75 to $85. See that? And so I'm not saying it's going to go down. I have no idea what's going to happen, but this is looking really bullish. If you flip that channel back into support, then maybe $85 doesn't hold, but it is a big level. It has to be flipped. And I really love this. So when I'm looking at this now, it's quite messy in my chart right now, but if you look at the regular chart, consolidation, expansion, drawdown, consolidation above the previous consolidation, next one and then expansion, yeah, drawdown, and then the next one is the parabola. So let me just kind of draw that for you. I draw it on this side of the chart. I've seen this before, and that's how I'm imagining it. Actually, you can't see it on this chart. That's kind of what you need to hold on to this until we get that parabolic move, isn't it? The last wave is the parabola. Yeah. So consolidation, expansion, drawdown, reaccumulation, expansion, drawdown, reaccumulation, and then I don't know about the timings, but parabola. That's what we want to see, something like that. And then that's your move, isn't it? 3 impulsive waves, with the last one being the craziest one. I think actually it'd be nice if we could get the last one at the peak of alt season. I don't know when it's going to be, so if we go up down now, maybe it can be like that, like April or something. Can you hold on that long? Are people able to hold on that high? Because will people sell in 200%, not realizing this actually wants to go much higher, like 700-800%? And then, who knows? I don't know. We'll see. All right, that's prop S. How much time have I got? I have to go now. Yeah, now I have to go. All right, I'm going to stop my stream. You're asking me about SWELL. Ali Hash was here earlier, and he didn't remind me, so I wasn't sure. I should have done something. I did a stream on Slurf yesterday, and I can't remember what I was saying. Actually, I thought it was quite strong yesterday, the price action. It was looking quite strong, and now we're getting some pullback. I think that's largely due to Bitcoin showing a little bit of weakness, and it's also largely due to Solana. I actually like this yesterday's daily candle. I'm quite fond of it. I kind of think it's quite nice. And now we're going back to test this wick. I know we have to see what happens today. I don't really think it's gone up, it's come down, now it's going down. But actually you're just going down to pick up liquidity, maybe to go back up. But I don't necessarily mind this weekly candle, this daily candle so much. But we have to see what happens here, because obviously if today we fall down here, it's going to start looking a little bit weak. Okay, what you want to do is kind of come down to this wick halfway, get a reaction, and go right back up. That's what we want. So today's going to be quite pivotal to see what happens, and I think it's largely to do with what happens with Bitcoin. Your Bitcoin right now is looking a little bit weak, isn't it? It's looking a little bit weak. People are looking at this and feeling a little bit stressed, and that's reflecting on some of our altcoins, and also like looking at Solana as well. That's quite an important token to look at when you're looking at SWELL. Is Solana looking strong or weak here? Well, I told you it changes market structure to bearish, so it's generally looking quite weak. We need to see strength on Solana, which would be something like that. Let's have a look at Ray. You know, Ray's looking quite weak as well. So a lot of these kind of Solana coins are looking quite droopy. And until that changes, I think Slurf could struggle a little bit. But I'm still bullish on it. I'm not like thinking to myself we're going to zero, right? It's a tricky one right now because we're getting some strength and now we've gone straight into weakness. This is weak. That was quite strong and then weak. In the last half an hour, we're getting a little big sell-off. That big volume sold. There is a bearish pattern in play here. It's an inverse Adam and Eve. Oops, I'll draw it with a neckline there. Yeah, that would have a measured move target if it broke down correctly at the lows here at about 25. Yeah, I mean this is you know, while one coin pumps, another coin dumps. While another coin dumps, another coin pumps. That's welcome to alt season. That's kind of how it plays out, isn't it? And ultimately, we need Bitcoin to look strong or to go sideways. So right now, when you're looking at Bitcoin, you're not feeling bullish, are you? You're just not. I kind of hope that we kind of go up, but we've kind of gone down a little bit, so I can't tell what's going to happen. But you know, these pullbacks are opportunities. Looking at the SPX, has it opened? Not yet. Oh, actually, it's probably lagging, so I can't tell. The other one to look for is this one. Can't tell. All right, there's a few viewers, but unfortunately I have to go, so apologies. I will be streaming again tonight. We'll do a kind of chart and chill. Hopefully we're making money, we're not losing money, but I mean don't sell, buy, or don't buy, sell, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Not financial advice. All right, I'll chat later, guys. Thanks for joining me. So I have to go. All right, talk later.